Did God tell you to move or did he tell you to wait? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm 3 days late. I have no excuses, but I'm here. And as I just think about how we have less than 100 days left in the year, your New Year's resolution, whatever it may be, regarding business or health and fitness, you have a 100-day head start. Like, I really love the idea of allowing January to be my month of rest, while now is when I plan for what I really want for 2025. So it requires a lot of deep thinking, but I love that I hosted 4 events this month. I had my final event of the month in 3 days, which is crazy. Shout out to all my Bali folks coming for this mastermind. I just goodness, I really, 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 really do not take for granted that I was just willing to keep trying to figure out what my life would be until it got to this point. And I think the convenient thing and what we wait for is like we one day wake up and we have all the answers, and it just doesn't work out like that. Like you have to collaborate with God, but you also have to be willing to work and try and see how things feel. Because everything can sound great on paper, but how does it feel when you actually try? And that's been my biggest thing. Like it has to feel good and it shouldn't be forced. And this city that I was saying I was going to move to, the more it got closer to it, the more it felt like force. And I was like, wait, was God telling me to move there or was he telling me to wait? Like, I was wanting to go from one city to the next, but there should have been a waiting period. There should have been a transition period. And shout out to my friend Cassandra, because she was like, well, Glow, you can't really force yourself to like find community in a city where you and Stefan have no emotional or physical connection or ties. Like we were just going to go there with this ambitious plan of like, let's find our people. And my therapist was like, is it really a plan if it requires you to be perfect and ideal? And that perfect, ideal version of myself was no longer going to be a homebody. It was going to all of a sudden sign up for all these weekly classes and community events and mingle and go on daily walks and be in the park. And I'm like, Glow, you are not, girl, you ain't never been that girl. A city is not going to bring that out of you. Like people are. And it goes to show, like in Bali, I'm that person because the people here bring that out of me. But in the US, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, walking into a space, figuring out the version of me that I need to be. How black is okay? Like what is enough of my blackness that is accepted in this space? And like monitoring that constantly, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is not normal or healthy. Like I don't want to live this same pattern with the new city name. So I really was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just press pause and I'm gonna allow myself to disappoint a couple people who were planning and banking, being quite honest, on us moving there because it was gonna be a really nice situation. And here's another thing about the US, and maybe you're struggling with like I don't know, maybe you've played around or toyed around with the idea of living abroad, or you're trying to find a US city that makes you feel at ease. And US culture in general, while I appreciate the opportunities of the way our government and society works in the US, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel aligned for me to be in a city in a country. It doesn't feel aligned for me to be in a country that prioritizes more and shinier and better and newer. And this is someone I have like opted out of the car game. I almost bought a Tesla a few years ago as a tax write-off, and I was trying to play the tax game, and I was like, wait, no, I'm not gonna drive this car. I'm not gonna buy it for tax. Like I was like, I hate this game. Because especially if you have integrity, you're like, I don't want to do these things because it makes business sense. And like, there's got to be another way. And mind you, like, I get it. Like, you're supposed to, and it's not that bad. But I was overwhelmed with like, man, like, this is the game everyone plays at the top? And how much longer do I have to play it in order to maintain? And it became too much. So opted out of the car game and I was like, I don't desire to own a car. I don't desire to drive a car. I want to be a passport passenger princess and be driven around. And that was my luxury. And to be driven around in the US, that costs a lot of money. It adds up. I have all of the top tier, hello, sorry, construction. I have top tier status on Uber and Lyft, but it's still, it adds up. But if you're in any other country, it's nothing to get driven around. And Bali specifically, like, of course I tip, but like most rides that you need are about $1, probably less. So it's just really convenient to say, like, I want this standard of living and if for it not to like be a crazy financial risk for you. That aside, I also knew that in the US, people prioritize, like, everyone cares about what you do. It's like how fancy you dress, how fancy your everything is. It's all about fancy, shiny, cool, whatever, titles. Like, what can you do for them? Everyone networks with the idea of like, what can you do for me? And then maybe let's see what I can do for you. And it's a very transactional way of growing and networking and getting around in the US. And maybe in some spaces and industries it's needed because that's just how things work. But again, I opt out. Like I'll do it for myself. Or I'll find people, I'll build a community of people who don't require that level of transactionality in our friendships. And it's just nice to choose a way that works for you. So I say all that to say, I will not be living in the US. And come December 9th, I am moving out indefinitely. And I mean, I have a good friend who's getting like all the furniture she wants. She can pretty much take her pick out of my apartment. And then anything else, I'm going to get a storage unit. And that feels really good. Like it finally feels like what I've been wanting to do, but for some reason didn't give myself permission to because I was trying to make sense. I think because so much of my life is so unconventional, I was like, well, this will make me relatable. I'll live in a normal US city and that will make me more palatable for like the people who still don't know who I am and what I do. I'll be easy to understand because I'll have a normal US city like they do. And I'm like, wait, what? Like I didn't realize that I was subconsciously doing that. And it feels nice to be free from that and to let that go and to be okay being misunderstood and to do whatever I desire. And Stefan has been so, so, so supportive of my decision. And he hasn't like emotionally attached to anything because in his mind, he's moved 6 times in the last 8 months. With, I'll get like super excited about a city and I'll like paint the picture because I'm a visionary. I will paint the picture. I will make you fall in love. I'm like, oh, like this is. He's like, all right, yeah, okay, sounds good. Oh gosh, life is so humbling like that. But yeah, I feel very aligned. I feel very healthy too. Mm. This time in Bali is so much better than my March/April time in Bali in terms of like health and fitness. And even if you like go back to the videos in week, what would that be? 4, 8, 12, like week 12 through probably 16. Um, Face was probably a little rounder. But yeah, I've like lost weight this time around because I'm just prioritizing movement. Y'all know I completed my 12,500 step journey for 125 days. So now I'm doing strength training every other day. And even on the days where I can't do much, I just the basics. Like we have dumbbells. Like a big part of the reason we chose this Airbnb is because the owner like built a gym in the balcony upstairs. Like genius. You want to talk about a value add, like a unique value proposition. That is that people will pay whatever for the amenity that they value and prioritize. And not many Airbnbs like have free weights and dumbbells. They'll have yoga mats, but they don't have actual weight training equipment. So just knowing that someone made that investment allowed them to have a unique just have a unique spot in the marketplace. Even though there are tens of thousands of Airbnbs, we chose this one because of that. So it's really cool just to see like business marketing and value prop ads, and just yeah, in the real world because I'm always analyzing, and my nerdy brain always goes there. Um, okay, yeah, so we so we're here for a bit. Weather's great. Weather's really nice. I've been able to see a couple friends. Shout out to Ari, shout out to Chelsea, Gabor. It's just been really good to just, yeah, feel in my element again. And we're doing a little cabin trip after my event next week. We're going north, and I'm just excited to just, yeah, just have some quiet time with good friends and just reminisce on like oh my goodness. And it's crazy because this friend, Chelsea, like she's who I was with 1 week before I met Stefan 2 years ago. Like it just, it's so full circle and it's so beautiful and wild how it's all panned out. Our friendship circle, but also like our journey towards love and how she found love right before me and how we both were calling in the same type of love and we both got just incredible love stories out of it. And again, that's another thing. Like, I say this for all women, but Black women specifically, like, please, like, look outside of who you think you're supposed to marry because I don't think, I just don't think we realize how many people in the world are like wanting and willing and ready to love us the way we deserve and not to wait or settle, like, for what we think is like our normal or like this is what society thinks we should be with. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just always a proponent of being loved well in whatever package that comes in. So don't limit your options, be open-minded, get out there and date while you travel. Like you just never know. You never know. Okay, what else? What else? What else? So yeah, with me having a more permanent home in Bali, you can expect more workshops in Bali. So check the links in my bio if you are interested in either a group boot camp session, a Bali boot camp session, Bali business boot camp, sorry, or a VIP weekend in Bali. And yeah, on my Instagram, I posted some behind the scenes clips, but it's basically like a crash course session for a weekend. I rent a villa, it's just you and me. And I get this huge whiteboard, and we literally just like we create your entire business plan and your business model and your launch strategy. And yeah, just having done it, having done one recently and then doing another one coming up. So I have the the group mastermind, and then I have another VIP client. And just knowing that like this feeling never gets old. And I think for me, it's because I grew up loving video games and loving just like discovering new levels. And I don't know if any of you remember Jack and Daxter, but it was such a unique game. And I loved getting to the final level. And it was so hard. And you had to memorize so many things and you had to study and you had to learn and you had to practice. And I feel like, I don't know, helping people create their business plans and their business models and unique business ideas, like bringing them to life, feels like advancing in a video game that I never want to stop playing. So that's why I love it so much. And I'm just so always grateful for the people who trust me to guide them on that journey. And I just feel like I have the best job in the world. And I'm very, very grateful. So there's that. And then we are launching and announcing our loveleap.com. It's live. It's live. It's happening. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, helping couples like design the ultimate getaway and like meeting up with couples who maybe have unconventional lives like us, but most importantly, like they want to get away. They have been trapped in their bubble of safety and comfort, and they're ready to explore and create like they're ready to just write another chapter of their love story in a different way. Like maybe they've gotten used to the mundane. Maybe they are in a routine stale patch in their marriage, but we're excited to see how we can help them use travel to like respark their fire. And for us, selfishly, we get to make new friends. I always feel like, sometimes the friends that you grow up with and like things happen where it's like, hey, they move away or, one person gets married, one person stays single, or I don't know, just so many things happen in life where sometimes it draws a rift, not even a rift. but it's like it's hard to relate to childhood friends about really new seasons of your life. And so making new friends over very specific reasons like marriage, relationship, finding a life partner, what it takes to like sustain that marriage and like bonding over that is so beautiful because it forces people to feel safe to be all of themselves versus the version of them that their childhood friends knew. And yeah, it just creates this very vulnerable space where we can feel safe to express our needs and share tips with each other. And I believe love and marriage is like, it's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your life. And when you find the person that's worth fighting for and staying with, like, you want to do everything possible to make sure you're equipping yourself, not just with tools and resources, but a community and support to keep it going. So that's what that is. And yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, we're making our wedding bands. So he bought me my engagement ring in Bosnia, and we're making our wedding bands in Bali. And that again is just like a really fun part of our love story. It's just really cool to feel like to do things our way. So that's really, really fun. And the last thing on my list, keep trying until you find your romantic and platonic matches. I think that's really important. It is easy, it is easier to give up and say, you know, you can't trust people, or it's hard to make friends, or you're tired of being betrayed, but like your core circle, your core friendships, like they exist, and keep trying until you find them. And the same with love. If you desire love, if you want to find your person, keep trying until you do. And it's the one thing in life that you can't leave to chance because it means so much and it's so intentional that you have to be proactive in the process. And again, the big reason why I launched the digital dating guide, because I was like, everything about my love story was so intentional. Like I was so prepared. I was so ready. And I documented my process because I'm like, well, I didn't see this process for me. I just had to create it for myself. So hopefully it helps someone else. And there have been dozens of people who have emailed me like in great relationships, they're enjoying dating again. Some people have been proposed to. So I'm not responsible for that, but like just knowing that my dating guide played a small part in helping them shift their perspective for what they could be doing differently when it comes to love. It's beautiful. So I'm grateful. I love what I do. I love that I get to be fluid and go in and out of different seasons of how I want to influence and help people. And I was never like trying to be a dating or relationship coach, but I was trying to be helpful in sharing my process with others who are curious. And they can see it. They can see it. They can see it. They can see it. I think what's happening. Yeah, Stefan is on like a mountain, a mountain journey. He's with a good friend of ours, and they had like a they're having guide time today. So yeah, he got to just get out on the motorbike. And I just love seeing him just like a kid in a candy store, just like cruising through the rice fields and just, yeah, having a good life. And especially like we both had like really hard childhoods. And when you see someone as an adult living so joyfully and freely, it heals a part of you because it shows that we are not our past and we can build a better future. And it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are or what you've been through. There is hope. There is a better tomorrow. And if you believe in your ability to change your circumstances, you will. Preaching. See, y'all are, it's a good thing I waited because I needed this message to come and download the way it did right now. And that's why I had to be late. All right. God bless. See y'all next week. Much, much more on time, I think. Bye.